So our webinar for today is entitled Back to School, New Lessons and Resources for Your Classroom. I'm excited to get you all ready to use the program in your classroom this fall, even if it seems a little early to start thinking about another semester. And as I mentioned at the start, my name is Noelle Wall, Director of Education here at the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. Before I started working here, I did spend several years as an adjunct professor teaching English and leadership classes. And during that time, I had the opportunity to use a lot of these lessons with students and was very inspired by the chance to talk about values and to have concrete examples of them, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to work with this program and why I'm excited to talk to you about these items today. During our time together, during our 30 minutes together today, I'm going to start by providing a brief overview of the Medal of Honor and the Character Development Program, show you around our website and the online training resource, walk you through 4 new lessons, and then provide a few general ideas for your classroom this fall that might be a little shorter, can be plugged in wherever you want. And then we'll end with some details about what you can look forward to next. So I'm going to start with just a little bit of information about the Character Development Program. If you've been to a training before or joined us for another webinar, you might already know some of these details, but the lessons of the program are centered on 6 core values: courage, sacrifice, commitment, integrity, citizenship, and patriotism. It's all designed by educators for educators, and we find that to be so important that the people who are writing our lessons and delivering our materials are people who have used them with students, who are familiar with what teachers need and what students want. All of our lessons are going to be easily integrated within academic and counseling standards. You're going to find those points, and we're going to go through some of those with those new lessons today: the reading, the researching, the things that your students are being asked to learn anyway, that you're being asked to teach. These are just new approaches, ways that you can have your students do something that's interesting, that's related to history, and still learn those key skills that we want them to pick up. And it's always at no cost to educators or their districts. Everything that I'm going to mention today is completely free, and we'll talk at the end about the people who make that possible. Our program is a flexible and engaging way to introduce character values to students, those real-world examples that ask students to critically think, to work with each other, and to maybe think a little bit more deeply about those values and how they can put them into action in their life. It's going to be inclusive of all students, and it's going to have multiple opportunities for elementary, middle, and high school. A lot of the lessons we talk about today are going to be more secondary focused, but we are going to hit on some opportunities for the elementary crowd, and we hope to have some new opportunities for you if you're an elementary teacher as well. It's not just for social studies or English classes. It's not a military recruitment tool, a glamorization, or glorification of war, and it's not political. The Medal of Honor itself is the highest military award in the United States, given for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity above and beyond the call of duty, submitted by peers. So someone sees you do something good and tells someone else. And that is unique that it has to be submitted by peers. It is a very rare honor, percentage-wise. You can see here there are 3,508 total recipients of the Medal of Honor, which compared to the percentage of those who have served in the armed forces is quite small. We have 67 living recipients today who make up the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. And it's the stories of those recipients that form the core of the Medal of Honor Character Development Program. We're going to talk about the stories of a few of those recipients today. We'll also talk about some citizen heroes who they have chosen to honor. Many of you who have been using the program for a while know about our website. You can find out so much more about the Medal of Honor and its recipients on our website. And you've probably navigated through it if you've joined in the last year. It is there are a couple features that I want to draw your attention to today. As you see on this slide, we have an interactive page that shows the various designs of the Medal of Honor with options to click on those different design elements and learn about the purpose behind those features. We do have some lessons that ask students to research more about the design, and our new website allows you to do that even more seamlessly, where they can find a lot of that information right there on our website, either find everything they need to know or find a jumping off point where they see a sentence and they want to learn more about that design element of one of those versions of the Medal of Honor. We also have a timeline, as you'll see here, which will walk your students through the important historical moments of the Medal of Honor. On our site, you can also explore some noteworthy lists, as you'll see here. And these lists are of recipients who belong to certain groups, like Native American recipients or Asian Pacific Islander recipients. There are also lists of recipients from specific conflicts or battles, like Iwo Jima or Pearl Harbor. You also see on this slide that you can find an FAQ section that's going to answer questions you or your students might have about the Medal of Honor or the recipients. And our staff is always here to help. If you have a question about the medal or the recipients that you don't see answered on the website, or you see something on Wikipedia and want to verify it, or your students find something on Wikipedia and you want to verify it, you can always just send it to us. You can, you'll have my contact information. There's also an interactive tool on the website that allows you to submit questions. We might even find something that one of your students or you ask that we want to add to that FAQ. So it's a growing opportunity. We add new noteworthy lists. We just added a new one when Memorial Day happened this year. So this is kind of a living website where we hope to be able to provide the resources that you and your students need to be able to supplement the lessons of the program and get everything you can out of the stories of those Medal of Honor recipients. Another resource that we added last year, or earlier this year, last academic year, is our online training program. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. And you can launch it right from the site. You can log in from the site. You can see all of the benefits here. Free, log on anytime, available 24/7. It can be completed in about 2.5 hours. Come and go as needed. Your progress will be saved, so you can pick up where you left off, and you can work through it on your computer or your mobile device. For those of you who aren't able to attend in-person trainings or attended a while ago and want to be retrained with our latest materials, maybe want a little bit more in-depth approach than what we have time to cover here in 30 minutes today, I hope you'll take advantage of this opportunity. It is primarily for secondary educators, but we do provide modifications for elementary audiences along the way. So to access the training, you just go to our website and you can see the address at the bottom here, cmohs.org/training/online. And you'll be prompted to this login screen. Now, if you have used the lessons on our website, this will look familiar. It is a single sign-on, so you access the lessons and the online training using your same username and password. If you already have an account, then this top arrow is for you. You just type in your email and your password. If you don't, this bottom red arrow is for you. So you'll be prompted to create your account and then redirect it over to the online training. Once you enter our learning management system, so once you click login, it'll take you right to our home screen of our learning management system. And that is going to show you all the modules of our training day, of our online training, which is a version of our kind of in-person training with some extra features added that we can do in an online environment. If you are having difficulty at any point, there is an FAQ link that is at the top of this screen. You can find a lot of troubleshooting tips on that link that will help you figure out if you have a browser issue or if there is something that might just be that you have not clicked. It's a lot of good information there, but at any point you can always email our team, training@cmohedu.org, which you'll see on the website in a number of places. We're always happy to help. You can email me directly because I also get those training emails, so you'll end up hearing from me. Once you go through all the modules, so the modules start gray and then they turn full color as you click through. And then once you've completed it, you'll be able to download your certificate and even apply for graduate credit with the completion of a companion project. So you can find out more or launch the training by going to the site in related content. And your email that you'll get tomorrow that has your follow-up confirmation and thanks for attending will also have a direct link to that so that you can just click straight through and launch our online training. Now, We are going to spend some time talking about the new lessons of the program. These lessons are in addition to the new Memorial Day lessons, which you might have seen in our Memorial Day webinar. And if you did not watch that webinar, you can go back and learn more about those lessons there, or you can just look at them on the website. A lot of those you might be able to use this fall as just adapt them to be for a Veterans Day opportunity. All of those lessons can be found on the website along with the core lessons of our program, which you might have seen in the past. You might also notice some updates. We are doing an update to the curriculum, which is just new links, refreshed exercises. You might see some new resources added, just small changes here and there, as well as incorporating our new design. So when you go to some of these new lessons, you're going to see some slight changes with all of the things you love still there as well. Before we launch into these lessons, I'm going to pause quickly and see if we have any questions. And don't forget that you can use that attendee chat to check in. If you have a favorite lesson or an activity that you have used with your students, whether it's something that's in our curriculum or something that you thought of on your own that you use as a supplement to the lessons themselves, then go ahead and let us know. Put that in the attendee chat. Your fellow attendees here can see it, and I'll call out some if I see any come in. It's a great chance for us to learn from one another. For those of you who might be joining the recording and not be able to see that live attendee chat, we are happy to provide opportunities for educators to kind of learn those tips, and we'll continue to provide lessons and activities based on kind of the feedback we hear. So keep an eye out for that as we move forward. I do see a couple of questions in here. All right, is there a recommended sequence for the lesson? So that's a great question. So you'll see in the materials that there are lessons that start as the foundational lesson. So if you log into our secondary lessons right now, you'll see that our new lessons are at the front. Over the next few weeks, those will be incorporated into their kind of spot in the order. But if you are in A1, A2, A3, those are the foundational lessons. And those are going to be the lessons that explain what the Medal of Honor is, what the core values are, how a citation works, kind of the building blocks of learning about the Medal of Honor and the values. So we always recommend starting with those foundational lessons and then building up to the other ones. Now, could you just dive right into one specific lesson? Absolutely. There's not a huge barrier to entry for understanding the material, but we do find that students who have had a couple of those foundational lessons do understand. If there is prerequisite, might be a little harsh of a word, but if there is a recommended prior lesson, it will be mentioned in a note to the teacher at the start. So you'll see at the top, we recommend that before you do this lesson, you do this other lesson, just to give your students a better background and set them up for success. So I would just look for that at the top. You'll see that the rest of the lessons are set up in by core values, by pair. So if you are looking for a specific value, I would do that. You can also look on our website at the resources tab, and you can find information about which recipients are associated with which kind of conflicts or events, and kind of drop into those lessons if they are more relevant to the curriculum moment that you're in right then. Otherwise, you really are free to jump around. Some are going to be a little simpler, take less time. Some are going to be more complex, have a lot more reading. The ones we're going to talk about today are in that more complex category. So those are going to be take a little longer, require a little bit more in-depth study by the students. So I would just recommend kind of checking them out. And if you ever have questions, again, you're always welcome to email us. We're happy to help however we can. All right. So I'm going to go through our first one of our new lessons, which is called Conquering Challenges with Integrity. And it focuses on the story of Vernon Baker. It opens by asking students to reflect on two quotes. And during the course of this lesson, students are going to evaluate the challenges of conquering personal as well as societal obstacles with integrity and understand the role of segregated Black soldiers during World War II. This can be a hard topic to discuss. It is an important topic to discuss, and we think that Vernon Baker's story is an important one that helps make it personal and make this kind of experience of a Medal of Honor recipient, a real person who is able to tell his story, something that students can really connect with. As students kind of interact with the Vernon Baker story, they're going to do that in two ways. They're going to read his Portrait of Valor, which is a short bio that we've provided. A lot of our new lessons are going to utilize that resource. It is a heavier reading opportunity with more dense text that students can learn more about the recipient. It's not a citation. A citation tends to be a little bit shorter, and the Portrait of Valor is going to provide a slightly more expanded view of the story of that recipient. In this lesson, they're going to read that Portrait of Valor, and they're also going to watch his video. They'll use these resources to complete a worksheet and then draw connections to integrity. His honor was a delayed one, which was presented by Bill Clinton in 1997, and that opens up the door for a conversation with students to discuss the challenges that Black soldiers faced as they served and as they were recognized for their courage, often much later than the courageous act itself. I definitely recommend watching Vernon Baker's video. It's a great one. It's a good opportunity for your students to learn more about him and his story. The next lesson that I'm going to introduce to you, and I'm just giving you guys a brief overview, I would definitely recommend going back and reading through these lessons and learning more about the recipients before you present them to your students. This one's called Spirit of Courage by Land or by Sea, and it weaves together the story of 3 different Native American recipients of the Medal of Honor, all from World War II. And this is another lesson that is going to involve heavier reading opportunities. It's going to ask students to imagine without you scenarios, showing the impact of a specific individual and what the impact that person can have, and what might happen if that person hadn't been there to take that heroic action, if that link in the chain had been missing. This lesson also offers a specific opportunity to discuss the impact of Native American service members during World War II. We hear a lot about the Navajo Code Talkers. I know that's a lot of history teachers teach that story when they talk about World War II, and it really shows the impact of Native Americans on that war. But this lesson provides kind of 3 different stories that you might not hear as often that are going to show, once again, those kind of personal narratives to connect with your students. Our next new lesson is called Courage in the Face of Prejudice, and it focuses on the story of Henry Johnson from World War I. So students are going to learn about his story by reading a graphic novel about his experiences. Now, these graphic novels, again, are a great resource as we develop these new lessons. One of the things we were really focusing on was ways that we can have students dive deeper into a more academically rigorous lesson. So they're learning, but also doing more reading, more engaging with text. So after they read that graphic novel, they'll use what they learn to answer prompts as a group. And ultimately, the students will use Henry Johnson's story to help them think about their own definitions of courage and commitment. Again, a great story. We use his a video of his awarding ceremony in this. So that's another, well, not another, but that is a primary source opportunity for your students to see, White House footage video of a Medal of Honor awarding, which is a great complement to hearing the story from reading it in that graphic novel. Our final of these 4 new lessons that I'm going to talk about is William H. Carney, Commitment and Action. Now, this lesson will focus on Civil War recipient William H. Carney. In this lesson, students are going to learn a little bit about the history of Black soldiers during the Civil War, and they will also have the opportunity to view a video that weaves together the stories of William H. Carney and Medal of Honor recipient Melvin Morris. This video was produced by our friends at the American Battlefield Trust and offers a really moving interview of Morris conducted on the battlefield where Carney fought. And after students watch this video, they're invited to reflect on Carney's contributions and write a letter to him about the significance of his actions and his place in history as the first Black man to receive the Medal of Honor. Again, like we talked about in the last lesson, it's really about impact. It's about, again, being that link in the chain being the person who might inspire someone else. And all of these lessons that we talked about today, as well as our lessons in general, are going to invite students to find ways to be that link, find ways to inspire other people to have their own life and their own story be kind of a living representation of these values. How can they show commitment? How can they show integrity? How can they look at the stories of these individuals and find a way to put it in action? You know, we want students to learn. We want them to develop their reading and analytical skills. But the point of this program is to have them be better people, to have them learn these stories, hear about these individuals, and then find ways to put them into action. And these lessons are going to provide a great opportunity for students to hear some stories and think about that and reflect on their own actions as well. I'm also going to review a couple of ideas for your classroom. So these are more full lessons that you would do from start to finish. But the website that I mentioned earlier and our kind of suite of resources is going to provide some other opportunities, and one of those is to show your students the Citizen Honors video. Now, some of you may be wanting to use this program for advisory. You may have really limited time. We have these really short videos about a lot of our Citizen Honorees, very brief, but the Citizen Honors is a way for the Medal of Honor recipients to honor citizens who have shown the values that are important to the Medal of Honor recipients, those 6 that we mentioned at the start of this webinar today. So these are individuals who live their lives in their community and do something. They step up in a moment of danger, or they show commitment over a long time to others around them. And these short videos about Citizen Honors are a great way to fill that time. Or if you have a little bit of time at the end of class, if you finish a test and have time before the bell rings, these are a great opportunity to do that. A lot of these videos, the service ones specifically, have a good opportunity for those upper elementary students, because you're not going to see the battle scenes or the descriptions of war that you might see in a Medal of Honor video. So these videos are going to have an opportunity to show those same values, to show those same very specific examples in a way that's going to connect more to everyday life and inspire your students. As you see here, our new 2021 Service Award videos are up now. This is one, we just awarded these last week in Charleston, South Carolina. So this is Charlie Austin. He received the Youth Service Award, and there are several of these young heroes whose stories are included in this video archive. So you can find all of that if you just click on our website, Citizen Honors, and then search Citizen Honorees, and you can click through them and find the ones that have videos. You can also find our Citizen Honors playlist on YouTube, and you can, I think it might be listed in your doc down at the bottom, but if it's not, you can always go to our website, cmohs.org, and in our footer, you can link straight to our YouTube channel and find that playlist of all of those Citizen Honors videos, which, again, great opportunity for the classroom. The other kind of big, flexible option on our website is to just dive into citations. You know, these Medal of Honor citations there's 3,508 of them, one for each recipient, well, I guess plus 19 for those double recipients. It's a great reading activity, and it provides a really wide range of levels. The citations have changed over time. There have been a lot of different types of citations. The one that you might have seen for more modern recipients are very thorough, very dense text, a lot of really hard words that your students might have to look up. And then some of the older citations are going to be a lot simpler. You know, X, Y, or Z recipient showed bravery. And that's a good thing to discuss with students. It's a great way for them to learn about recipients from earlier conflicts. Most of our lessons do focus on recipients with videos, which is mostly going to be a World War II recipients forward. It's also going to allow them to practice those research skills and contextual analysis, seeing how a Medal of Honor citation from the Civil War differs from a Medal of Honor citation from Afghanistan. It's a great chance, and it can be simple. It can be as simple or complex as you want it to be, and all of that is available on our website. I also want to tell you to stay tuned for even more. We have a lesson that we are going to be rolling out in our August newsletter, and that will be ready to go for your classrooms this fall. It's called Help in High Water, and it's going to focus on one of those citizen honorees, one of those young heroes, Virgil Smith, who could not swim and rescued a number of individuals during a flood in Houston. His story is very inspiring, and again, his video is very short. So we have an exciting lesson that's going to involve a lot of movement and ask students to do a little work to figure out how they could maybe react in a situation that was dire. So be on the lookout for that. We are about to finish up. I'm going to look really quick and see if we had any more questions come in. I did see a question about thumb drives. So the thumb drives that we have right now do not contain the new lessons. So the only place to get those new lessons is going to be the website. You can download them, you can save them on your dashboard. So when you log in and create an account on the website, there's a little heart. You can put all of your favorite lessons on your dashboard so for easy access. So you'll be able to have access to them, and you can also download them to your desktop and keep them saved there. Question? All right, we are reaching the end here. So thank you for joining us today. Please visit us at cmohs.org to access the lessons you saw today, as well as all the lessons of the Medal of Honor Character Development Program. You can learn more about the recipients, read their citations, watch videos, get the most current information about upcoming webinars and other events. We will have our fall lineup of recipient interviews available soon, so be on the lookout for those announcements. If there is anything that you want to see in our webinar lineup for this fall in terms of content webinars, things you want us to talk about in this format, please let us know. There will be a survey at the end of this. You can let us know there, or you can also send me an email. We would like to thank our sponsors for today's webinar and for all that they do to support the work of the Medal of Honor Character Development Program and Congressional Medal of Honor Society. If you have questions about donating, please reach out to Kate Smith, whose email you see there on the screen. Again, thank you for joining us. We hope that you're excited to use some of these lessons in your classroom this fall, and we hope to see you on a future webinar.